What's going on, Jerome's? The Vikings preseason is mercifully over. So we're going to go through the winners and the losers from the Vikings loss in the preseason against the Denver Broncos, 23-13. Vikings winless in the preseason. Oh, Lord, the sky has fallen. Whatever. Either way, the Vikings come out of the preseason, knocking on all the wood. Starters healthy, intact for week one against the greasy grimy Green Bay Packers, and there you go. And, if our problem is we don't know who the backup quarterback is, or, well, it's obviously Nick Mullins, but beyond that, we're okay. These are first world problems, man. But winner number one, punter Ryan Wright, getting it done. Getting some love from Pat McAfee. Just got home from the Colts game, turned on the Vikings-Broncos game, and the first play I saw the Stallion. This is a punter, and this is awesome. Just smoked a ball in Mile High. And he got after it, man. 48-yard punt down to the 6, a 68-yarder down to the 2. We'll round that up to 69. Nice. Also had that 71-yard boot. Woo! Also had 3 down inside the 20. I think it's clear that the Vikings made the right choice over veteran Jordan Berry. And I'll admit I was wrong. I would have gone with the veteran, but Wright showed that upside. He held well for all 3 of Joseph's kicks as well. So, yeah, he's perfectly fine. Winner number 2, Myles Dorn, man. So Myles Dorn fighting for a roster spot, had that tip pass that resulted in Luigi Villain interception. Also had a couple of big hits. I think that he played fantastic. Like, he was out there flying around, making plays. Myles Dorn, the Pride of North Carolina, rise up, man. Outside linebacker Luigi Villain is winner number 3. So he got himself a lot of playing time since the Vikings. Sachinaris, Robinson, Patrick Jones, the second, played sparingly. So he had the interception, also got a couple of nice pressures. And I think that there is a good chance that Villain, I think 100% him and Zach McLeod stay either on the practice squad and one of them on the 53 or vice versa, whatever. Winner number 4, running back Ty Chandler. Another amazing game. So he was sort of hampered in the Niners game with that ankle injury, but he looked good against the Raiders. He looked good against the Broncos. Had 5 carries for 44 yards, 8.8 yards per carry. Just amazing balance. He does not fall over. And I'll put it on the table right now. Ty Chandler will be a running back 1 in this league somewhere within 3 years. Probably going to be the Vikings. Ty Chandler and King Kene as estate planning for after Delvin. I mean, it's possible, man, because even though I love Dalvin Cook, he is one of the top 3 running backs in the league. It just sort of is what it is. Contract-wise, age-wise, whatever. Maybe the Vikings cut or trade Dalvin at some point, but I mean, Ty Chandler's just there, man. Absolutely. Winner number 5, wide receiver Amir Smith-Marsette. And now ISM, I think, has firmly cemented himself as the wide receiver 4 on the Vikings. It's Jefferson, it's Thielen, it's KJ, it's ISM. Also, he had 3 catches for 63 yards on 3 targets, which catching your targets is important. Because, yes, to a degree, the quarterback has to throw a catchable ball, but the fact that you're reeling them in, having a nice catch radius, really important for him. Also, a couple of his fair catches on punt return, questionable, but 21-yard punt return really busted out there. So also the fact that Jalen Naylor went down with a concussion, I think ISM wins the job by default. He'll probably start week 1 as the Vikings punt returner. Winner number 6, you got left tackle Blake Brandel, a no-handle Blake Brandel. I think that he's a perfectly fine backup left tackle, swing tackle. Unfortunately for him, his ceiling is capped because he got Darisaw and O'Neal ahead of you, but it is what it is. And also, they had him work at guard. The strip sack touchdown on Sean Mannion, that was Brandel and left tackle Timon Paris having a really bad miscommunication, getting fooled by a T&E stunt. Browning. Stupid Browning. Baron Browning is a starter, by the way. Why is he even playing in this last preseason game? But, yeah, it wasn't great. Something that was great, though, is 2 offensive linemen. Yeah, Chris Reed and Austin Schlutman, the Dutch pronunciation. They look really good working with the ones. Chris Reed was working at right guard. Schlutman was working with the first-team center. And it really was varsity versus JV. One of the big reasons why the Vikings were able to move the ball running, and they just really look fantastic. I don't think Chris Reed and Schlutman on the roster as high-end veteran interior backup. Same thing with Jesse Davis. I think the Vikings got a good plan going. Also, we could have listed Ed Ingram as a winner, even though he didn't play down against the Broncos, even though he dressed, because he is going to be the starting right guard, 100%. 100%. Next up, winner number 9, Usazio Demeu, coming in from the Gophers. Did really nice job holding his ground at that 5-tech spot, had 3 tackles, got a good pressure as well. I think that I wouldn't risk putting him on the practice squad. I would keep him on the 53. And I think that in 2 to 3 years, he's going to be a legitimate contributor on the Vikings. Winner number 10, Brian O'Neill's interview. So O'Neill and Darisaw interviewed with Ben Lieber on the sideline, and O'Neill low-key hilarious, by the way, man. So Lieber asked him a question about stability at right guard and Ed Ingram and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, we'll do fine because I've had like 9 to 10 guards next to me over the last 4 years. It's just amazing. It's amazing, man. Winner number 11, tight end Zach Davidson. The unicorn is back after that just disaster nutlow of a game against the Niners. 4 catches for 47 yards on 6 targets. His run after catch ability is legit. He just has to catch it. So it's going to be close between Davidson and Nick Muse. Nick Muse was a Kwesi draft pick. Davidson was a Spielman draft pick. I don't think they keep both. Because it would be silly to keep 4 tight ends on the 53, given the way that the offensive personnel is going to be composed of this year. So would you risk Davidson on the practice squad? I think there's more of a risk of Davidson being claimed off of waivers than Nick Muse at this point. So, yeah, roster Davidson. Winner number 12, linebacker William Cuencu, who is a guy I liked a lot. UDFA tryout, made it to the 90-man coming out of Temple. I think that he is a rock-solid inside linebacker, 7 tackles at a tackle for loss. He's not going to wow you physically, but he kind of reminds me of Ed McDaniel, and I really do hope that he stays in the sphere either on the 53 or the practice squad. Next up, winner number 13, got Chris Boyd. So Boyd, respect, had sort of an up-and-down game, had 2 passes broken up, gave up a couple long receptions, but you know, I do think that Chris Boyd needs to stay on the roster as a 6th cornerback. Then you got winner number 14, you got Brian Koback, prior to Toledo. I understand some of his carries not so great. I think he averaged 2.9 yards per carry on 14 carries, but did have that touchdown, did get it in. I think that he has enough upside, both as a runner and receiver, as well as a decent pass blocker, that they keep him around on the practice squad. Maybe next year, depending on what happens with Madison and Dalvin, maybe he makes a roster. Maybe he's a solid utility running back 3 or 4, and go from there. Winner number 15, Greg Joseph, 58-yarder, bang. Yes, it is mile high, but he's got a new holder in Ryan Wright, and that thing would have been good from 70. Love to see it, man. Losers. So the run defense got shredded, which has been a hallmark this entire preseason. Well, run defense was bad last year. Run defense with the 2s and the 3s, yes, with the 2s and the 3s, hasn't been great this year. 148 on the ground, 5.9 yards per carry. Now, part of that was the marvelous Mike Boone was just a man playing amongst little kids out there, but, you know. Personnel communication. So, in 2-minute drill, down on the goal line, the Vikings had to take a timeout because they had the wrong personnel in. Then coming out of the timeout, they had the wrong personnel in again. I think BC was in. Zach Davidson had to run on the field, one of the two. Either way, it was a bit of a gong show. So they got to iron those things out. Vikings injuries as I burp. So Vikings had a myriad of injuries, just scrolling down. So T.Y. McGill left with an ankle. Troy Dye has a foot. Josh Metellus banged up. BC Johnson left with a knee. And Jalen Naylor had a concussion. So yeah, it's not good. Even though these guys aren't starters, you just never want to see guys get hurt, especially dudes that are going to comprise some of the bottom part of the roster and practice squad. Overall pass protection. So Mon took 4 sacks. Mannion took 1. That strip sack fumble. Overall, it was fine at times, but when it was bad, it was really bad. It was one of those spots. And Kellen Mond, half of those sacks were on him. He has to be more aware, but I mean, a lot of the times they were just getting fooled on really simple things. It's unfortunate. Losers, 5 and 6, Mannion and Kellen Mond. Neither of them did anything to really establish themselves. I thought that Mond had himself a chance after that dime to ISM, but really poor decision-making, and it just wasn't good. And Mannion had that strip sack fumble. Part of that was on him awareness-wise, as well as he had that meatball pick 6, which should have been going the other way, except the linebacker dropped it. It's just not good. Loser number 7, left guard Blake Randall. So him and Timon Paris, who's also listed as a loser, they got fooled in that TNE stunt we talked about earlier. It sort of is what it is. And then tight end Nick Muse. I mean, Nick Muse had everything right in front of him. I think that if he had a solid game, he could have solidified the tight end 3 spot. But he had 2 just horrific drops and also wasn't that good in blocking, which he was decent in the Niners game, but, you know. But anyways, preseason is finally done. That's our winners and losers. Who are yours? Let us know in the comments section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.